us, America, land that I love. In your world, open our eyes. When we listen only to those who agree with us, open our ears. When we find comfort in ignorance, fill us with an insatiable desire to learn your truth. When we grow comfortable with the way things are, agitate us until things are the way you want them to be. When we think violence is inedible and peace unrealistic, surprise us. Prince of Peace, forgive us. In your name we pray. Amen.
As we know, there has been an alarming rate of police-involved shootings of unarmed black men and women around the country. I stand before you today to not only highlight these events, but inspire people to seek change within our community. On Monday, July 11th, myself, Willie Holmes, and Demetrius Likes individually entered the Fullerton Police Station at different times to discuss our concerns in regard to the increasing amount of violence portrayed by those who have been chosen to protect and serve our communities. That very same night, our platform, More Than a Hashtag, was born. Our concept derived from the hashtags on social media that recognize the victims of police brutality, such as Trayvon Martin, Alton Sterling, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, and the list continues to grow. And the hashtags of all of the officers who have fallen in the line of duty. More Than a Hashtag was created to bridge a gap between the community and the police department. We are here to set the standard of dignity. More Than a Hashtag seeks to model the proper approach of community interactions with the police department. We inspire each and every last one of you to begin stepping outside of your comfort zone and become more involved in your community.
Thank you, Willie. I only found out about 15 seconds ago that I'm going to be speaking to you. So he'll probably get a parking ticket a little bit later, I'm sure. Listen, on behalf of the City of Fullerton, welcome to the City of Fullerton. For those of you who are visiting, thank you for being here. I just want to share with you, just real briefly, why I think this is such an important moment and such an important day today. And why I think you should be very proud of three very young adults that are really trying to make a positive difference, and not just in this community, but really to shine as a role model and an example for all the communities, not only in Orange County, but across this nation. I was sitting in my office last week when all of a sudden I was told that there were two gentlemen who wanted to speak to me. And they didn't tell me why, but I said, well, have them come on up. And I had the opportunity to meet Demetrius and Willie. And as we spoke about what their concerns were, was really about how do we have a trusting relationship with the police department if we don't have further engagement? And how do we change the concepts of having just shouting angry words at one another? And how do we really just have dialogue? And so we left there thinking about possibly doing an event like this. And what I didn't know, there was a phone message waiting for me, and it happened to be from Brianna. And Brianna, I called her back and started talking to her, and she was talking about the exact same things. And I was so very much impressed with these three young adults who decided that instead of shouting and screaming, they were going to have the courage to come and say, I want to talk to the police chief right now, and will he speak to me?
Again, my name is Edward Clark. I am representing the NAACP. We know that there is a deeper trauma, there's a deeper situation and circumstance that goes beyond the black and white racial tension, the injustices between black lives and police brutality. There is a deeper force, an evil force that is permeating our nation, and we have to open up our eyes to see that. The war might look like it's against the black lives and the police department, but the war is against evil. There is an evil force here, and the only way that the evil is going to succeed and prosper is if the good people do nothing. I stand behind the Black Lives Movement. I stand behind the police department. I stand behind our nation, the good of this nation, the people that can bring our nation back again. But we have to know that the war is against good and evil, against love and hate. And those that will stand on the side of love, I ask you to stand with us today as we move forward to bring change. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Jesse, and I am the chair of the Orange County Young Democrats, but I am mainly here to acknowledge that this isn't a partisan issue. that whether you're Democrat or Republican or whatever there may be, there's plenty of common ground to find a solution that works for all of us. Secondly, I'd like to say that it is okay to be hypercritical of this country and our leadership and of each other. I think it is very truly American to do that. But I hope that we keep in mind that we're not hypercritical just to tear each other down, but to know that this country is always capable of better and that we recognize its faults and we go ahead and find solutions. Lastly, I just wanted to say that it is a campaign year and that you hold your political leaders and each other to account. That before you vote for someone, you find out how they feel about this situation, that you call, you email them, and that they earn your vote. And then when they get elected, you say, hey, now start working on it. So what are you doing now to implement your solutions? Because without that, we're not going to get the change that we want, the change that we all want to see. So I would just emphasize that we hold our leaders to account, and that I am very honored to be here.
Progressive Interfaith Alliance is a dialogue organization. We try to bring different groups from different diversities together to share in community and to strengthen community. So we have to realize that our bridges have to be built with each other. And so I'm going to ask that we do that today, and we do this going forward.
We need to start treating each other like humans first, and then we have our culture and everything. So I was very excited to be here. I think this is a great thing. We look forward to doing more things with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and as well as with the police department, just to make sure that we go out and talk to our communities. It's very important that we talk to our communities and let them know what's going on. Make sure we educate our parents on how their kids are dressed, and when you do get pulled over by a police officer, make sure you are respectful. They are here to help us. They are here to take care of us, and without them, we would have tremendous chaos.
Good afternoon. I am Kevin Welbeck from Create the Change. I have to address what happened in Baton Rouge. That it was wrong. There's nothing else to say about it. It was wrong. And what happened in Dallas was wrong. And I personally have a huge love, respect, and appreciation for law enforcement. And I mourn with the loved ones of those officers who did pass, and the officers here today. I appreciate you, and I stand with you. And can we just show them some love? It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to have these feelings, but to act out on it, that's not what's going to bring the change that we desire to seek. We can be angry in our own time, but when we come together, we have to come with wisdom and strategy and really face the things that are really holding us down. There's no way by using violence, by using hate, and by using evil that we'll take steps forward. That only brings us backwards, and we do not have time for that at all. We know our issues, our fight is not with law enforcement. It's a broken system that has been in place that was made to not acknowledge or respect people that look like me. A system that allowed incidents like Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, Eric Garner, and even now Alton Sterling and Philando Castile to go without justice. This is a system that we need to do everything in our power to fix that system. It's time for America to see us as people. See us as people, not in spite of our color, but because of the beauty of our individual colors that make us who we are. Trump is saying, let's make America great again. But when I look at this crowd, I see African Americans, Caucasians, Asians, Hispanics, and many more coming together for a cause. People standing united as one for justice. This is what America being great really looks like. This is what America being great looks like. And until the rest of the nation can see what I see right now, I personally am not going to stop fighting until we see true change in this country. I encourage you guys, do not stop fighting. Keep doing what you're doing. No matter how hard it gets, no matter what comes, keep doing what you're doing. Keep marching. Keep protesting, and when the hype starts to fade down, make even more noise, because we can't just go back to doing life as normal, or if we do, the next thing is going to happen again, and we're going to be posting hashtags, and we're going to be upset again, and we cannot keep in that cycle. We have to do something different. Take your fight to the next level. Educate yourself. Learn about the politicians. Learn about the system that we're fighting. Learn about the people who are running for offices, and then vote. Make sure you encourage each other to vote. Vote the right people to replace the wrong people in offices so that we can get the things that we need done. And not just at the presidential level, but in the state and the local level as well. We can fight together. Build your community. Love on one another. Officers, find out ways to build a better relationship with the community. Community, do the same thing, vice versa. Make sure that you take it upon yourself individually to love on every single individual that you see, because love will change things. It starts from the heart. It starts from the inside. And if we keep on doing this, if we keep on fighting, we promise not to relent, we will create the change that we wish to see. Thank you.
Some of our national leaders and candidates, when the Black Lives Matter movement first surfaced, responding with, in all sincerity, but all lives matter. When in fact, well, of course that's true, but that misses the point of the Black Lives Matter movement. It's about focusing in how, for example, a young African-American male in society, in American society today, faces challenges that I don't. And that's not right. And at the same time, we have rhetoric that sees every one of these incidents and wants to blame every police officer. When, yeah, there's a few bad actors. The vast majority are honest, decent men and women trying to do and perform a very difficult task in society. It's not a short-term solution, but it's about evolving the science of policing and the relationship that our communities have with our law enforcement today. But looking forward, only if we go back and trust not our political beliefs, not our ideology, but our intellect, we find these answers.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. My name is Mirvat Judah Maita, and I'm with the Arab American Caucus and the Arab American Civic Council. And I am honored and emotionally moved to stand with all of you today. To stand with you, the City of Fullerton, the Fullerton PD, various faiths, communities, leaders, and organizations in unity on this beautiful day. We all stand here, united against violence, all forms of bigotry, racism, and hate. As an American Muslim and a Puerto Rican-born Arab, our community, as well as the Black, LGBTQ, Latino, and other communities, have been targets of hate speech, crimes, racism, and prejudice. Of course, no community historically has been under attack and subject to racism and prejudice like the Black and African American communities have since the beginning of time. Hence the movement #Black Lives Matter. Because when Black Lives matter, when Black lives begin to matter, all lives will matter. Racism and hate and prejudice should have no place in our great nation because it goes against our values as Americans. To hurt one of us is to hurt all of us. This beautiful, diverse country founded by immigrants has no place for hate. Only love should live here. Only love.
We stand here today as a united front, made up of the people and the power. This issue of equality throughout history has held us down for far too long. One might say, what's what we do to find solutions, to end these problems? I tell you this, my brothers and my sisters, love is the supreme answer, willing to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. I stand here not only as a Black man, but as a brother and a son of the community, pained by the acts of Sterling, Dallas, and Paris, and those in Baton Rouge. This platform of more than a hashtag is to offer those solutions to problems, local and national. We as a community, Black, brown, homeless, police, politician, LGBT, and student, must use our voices towards one goal, that is, enough is enough. The profiling must stop. The killing must stop. Some might say a vigil is enough. A march is enough. A dialogue is enough. But I say, friends, that hour has just begun. I leave you with this quote. To each, there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do something very special, unique to them, and fitted to their talents. What a tragedy in life, in that moment, finds them unprepared or unqualified for that which what could have been their finest hour, by Winston Churchill. Thank you all for coming out.
Stand beside her and guide her
above.